Hi, everybody, and welcome to Crafty Crows. We've got a fabulous lineup. Two poets that you all know very well who got married earlier this year, so our congratulations are sent to them. So Tish and Dane Ince, it's lovely to have them all the way from America. We've also got quite a few people in the audience from America, which is lovely too. So welcome everybody who hasn't been here before. And I hope maybe you'll come back again. Okay, to start then, I think I'll read a little poem. I went to a workshop the other day, and it's been quite a while since I've been to somebody's workshop, and I always find workshops a struggle. So I thought I'd go back to this poem that I wrote a long time ago, which is called Trying to Write Poetry in a Workshop I Don't Understand. Trying to write poetry in a workshop I don't understand is like an invisible force twisting me in its vice, pressure of direction, distracting connection, till blankness descends, empty and uncomprehending. White noise, like two voices competing on different wavelengths with the same intensity. My brain static, though not black, just a lack of action, a falling and failing, a quiet turbulence, vying with suspension, looking for a soft landing. Thank you. Pratibha, are you okay if we start with you? Brilliant. So next up we have Pratibha Castle.
Thank you. Lovely to see you again. So I'm going to read something from my recently published book, A Triptych of Birds and a Few Loose Feathers by Hedgehog Press. Thank you. And I'm not sure if you've heard it before. Some of you may have. Padraig, who drove the snakes out of Ireland. At the allotment, Daddy forked the crumbly black earth till the air quaked with anticipation of excess. Me sifting stones in search of treasure. The robin sat, pert, on the lip of the bucket, meant to carry spuds or cabbages, the occasional giggle-tickle carrot, back to placate the mammy. The bird's eye bright with a lust for worms, his song a crystal cataract of merry, though none of the seeds we sowed ever showed head out of the sly earth, and we saw nothing of the slow worm Daddy promised, so that his name being Padraig too, I guessed he must be a saint, especially when he himself vanished. Though he turned up months later at the end of school again and again and again, till I had to tell the mammy where the books and toys came from, and that got me sent off to board at St. Bridget's Convent, where the head nun was nice to you if your mammy gave her fruit cake in a tin, bottles of orange Linctus sherry, a crochet shawl like frothy cobwebs, none of which my mammy could afford, Padraig having banished more than snakes.
Oh, I love your voice, Pratibha. Thank you so much. Please unmute and give Pratibha Castle a really big round of applause.
Love it, Pratibha. Love your voice. I need to hear the Irish voice.
The Irish coming back.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Lovely.
guys.
Thank you. Up next, we have Margaret Royal. Welcome, Margaret.
Hello. So we've got 3 minutes, have we? 2 short poems. Yes, the first one I'm going to read is from this collection I'm putting together about my childhood in a very strictly religious household. And it's called, well, the collection is going to be called Tattooed in God's Front Parlour. And I'll start with one called The Swinging 60s. Argument over a maxi coat. My mum threw me that sideways glance, said I looked absurd, that nobody wore long coats nowadays. Did I want to make an exhibition of myself? I said everyone my age had them in London, trendy in Chelsea, uber cool to wear one. No one would turn and stare unless with envy. What's more, you'll not walk with me to chapel in it. I forbid you. Do you hear? She raced ahead, peeved, trying to disown me. In London, I aspired to be the epitome of cool, a sex goddess, popping into bus stop or Bieber for a cheeky little Barbara Holonicki number. Back in my hometown, not so. Whispers, gossip, faces behind net curtains. I rebelled, determined to shock prim neighbours. Look at me, I'm one of those weird hippie chicks. I'm sure God doesn't care what I wear, I said. Remember Mary Magdalene, Mum? She was a prostitute, but Jesus loved her. And something different and short for the second one from my collection Where Flora Sings. I don't think I've ever read this one anywhere, so hopefully it's new, called Flowers for a Ghost. Tea time now, and still no one there. She checks the date on the invitation. All correct. Please bring decorations, it states. Keep the party secret. She has brought flowers, a zillion of them. They would scarcely fit in the taxi. Red, blue, white and mauve. She wonders who they are for. But the barn in the middle of nowhere is empty. No sign of life. Just cows in the meadow chewing the cud. No mobile reception, no station, no bus stop. A long lane home now, a long shame to bear now. Heels badly blistered, pride sorely wounded, rage growling inside her. Who would play such a mean trick? Thank you very much.
Brilliant. Thank you, Margaret Royal. That was lovely. Your new collection sounds very interesting. Look forward to hearing that. Okay, would you like to unmute and give Margaret a really good round of applause, please?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, next up we have Spongo Poet. Hi, Spongo. I can see, trying to see you. Hi. Welcome.
Hi, Josephine. Thank you.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, everyone. The name is Pongo, also known as the Honorable Metaphor, because some say my metaphors are so honorable they deserve a seat in the parliament. Enough with the greetings. I hate we only have 3 minutes, so I'm going to read 2 poems, which are from my first collection of poems titled Trials. So the first one is the first poem on the book is titled Dreamer. Why should I do it now if I can do it later? That's what I told myself. Distant plans seem safer. Claiming perfectionism, intricate details are fascinating till you realize it's a cover for fearful procrastination, promising tarred roads for years in a destination, walk the talk to find your destination, but you can't do that whilst allowing too much hesitation. Talk is cheap. It's not enough to manifest a vision, dreaming big, but spending hours on television, hours on a joystick control, but yet out of control. Then later got consoled for ditching study over a gaming console. With the little time I've used on my dealings, I have been making a killing. Yet if I put in more work to this, I'll be sticking to the ceiling. I am willing, I'm tired too, and if you know the feeling, and you know the feeling, and if I did it better, it would come with the healing and extinguish the hell in my conscience. Waking up a few minutes before the sun, I just want to be better. I do this for my son, for my mother, my family. I am making a plan. No more glorifying comfort until I am done. Completing tasks is a therapy session. I need a recharge through literary meditation. I heal my battles by reading the wisdom of Wallace D. Wackles. I'm gonna move to the second poem, which is also the second poem in the book. It's titled Scam. It goes something like this. How? Everything is a Ponzi scheme from the live news on the TV screen. White girls tan, black girls bleach skins. We sit back to watch colleges diminish dreams. Controlling perceptions, applying the law with exceptions, genetic engineering and loaded injection, missing links and misdirection. Everything seems like a scam, even the hearts from your fam, even the DJs on the show want you to pay to play your jam. She thinks love can be shared on the gram, so she will strip and track on cam. He's into sniffing a kilogram, and for $1, he can kill your grand. Until the day we awaken to reclaim what was taken, stabilize all that is shaken, rediscover the forsaken. And though our hearts have been aching in the midst of the smiles that we've been faking, I can feel these cases are breaking like that, like they just went through a coup in heaven. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Spongo. That was brilliant. Would you like
You.
to put your book, where people can get your book in the chat?
Okay, all right, I'll do that just now.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
But please unmute and give Spongo Poet a really big round of applause. That was brilliant. Thank you very, very much.
Love it. Love it.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going on really well here. Next up, we have Annie Ellis. Hi, Annie. Welcome.
I'm going to be reading one of my nature ones again.
Brilliant.
A time to go wild with this one. It's called Wolf. Master of the mountains, clothed in thick silver fur, keen-eyed, nose to catch scents, padded paws tackle any terrain, following each path mapless. You roam far and wide for miles. I would love to be part of your pack, a promise of freedom, to be wild, to roll in the scent of Mother Earth, where air is fresh to breathe. Sing to the moon so she can howl back, win the struggle to survive, sharing everything of your life, giving out patience, understanding, love and affection to your family. Because of you, I want to keep living.
Oh, that was lovely. Especially love the moon howling back. Brilliant. Have you got another one you want to read?
Yes, all right. A quick.
You've got just enough time to do another small one.
I'll read Otter, the other Otter one in here.
Lovely.
Not the Ripple one. Otter. Steel pins strike hard on stones. Wash down the salt on your tongue. Pebble eyes watch as you fold. Paws patting flat, you dive deep. Waiting for the crash to thunder down, you head up again across the dirty squall, sniffing for shells filled with sweet cushions, easy to crack on your wet fur table. Raindrops fall from cold whiskers. You take the sea's fill as you return, Swirling in green ribbons you play, winning against the storm.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Annie. Please unmute and give Annie Ellis a really big round of applause. That was lovely.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone.
Next up is Kayana, but I don't think they're here, are they?
Yes.
And Doc Janning too. So I think we're going to have to go straight on to Carlos. Carlos the Unhappy, welcome.
Hi there. Everybody hear me okay?
Yeah, perfect.
Super, brilliant. I want to say congratulations, obviously, to the magic couple of poetry, Dane and Tish. But also special congratulations to Dane on being crowned the Beat Poet Laureate for the state of California. So well done for that. And I imagine he's brought some of his entourage here as well. So probably going to get a lot of beat poetry tonight, perhaps more than your normal fill. So I think I was going to read, for those people that are new to beat poetry, I was going to read my poem, What is Beat? Which isn't in Oblivion, it's in my next collection. Some of you have heard this, an early version, and whether it's ripe yet, I'm not entirely sure, but you'll be the judge of that. Okay, so this poem is called What is Beat? People ask me, what is beat? But how the hell should I know? I'm only a human, made of tears, nostalgia, and bits of tomato. I know but only this reality, built of bored teacher words and duty, built of pain slightly less than the last guy that wore this suit of loneliness. But if you're going to push me, I guess I'd have to say it's some kind of Indian Dada blues or beat bop hangover. It's America sleeping in a doorway. It's the waving pine. It's happiness drunk under the moon. It's being sick of silence, but also at once kissing it too. It's the street scene and the sound of winter in your heart. Sometimes I'm certain it's also the state of the nation as it really is. And I'm pretty sure it's the way the ocean strokes the beach. It's the hot night of love and pain, not moonlight serenade, but instead the journal of Albion moonlight. It's the howl of living. It's falling in love with solitude and sunlight. It's falling in love with love and the first cold beer of the day. But it's also that blue room of aloneness and the dead face of the door after she's gone. And I've been thinking recently, I'm pretty sure it's all that space up on the mountain top wide, and the big sky of Montana, and the big sky when I see it in my mind. I guess it's also the warm under the pine needle tree shade and the wild improvisation of stars. And that sweet evening breeze that blows its soft solo through your open window of kindness. At least that's what I think it is, although that's mostly what I read with my stupid mind eyes. To me, it's wet, rainy Wales, Wales visitation, reading Blake by the Wye, the Green River Summer Wye. It's the beat ghosts of sorrow with all those friendships formed and failed. It's the Dharma lines of the golden eternity, all the way down the way of Zen and the great red wheelbarrow woolden leaves of grass. I also feel it in the swallowing of tears to Adrian Mitchell's love songs of World War III. And to me, it's walking with vision phrases of Jack and Alan, or the sadness of Jan and Gerard. It's the earth underfoot in the walking meditation. It's visions of the Buddha of our age, visions of Blake, and trying to build visions of self. From beat lines of the night mind, of a Ferlinghetti mind, which, as far as I can tell, has spilled beauty everywhere for everyone. Thank you.
Woo! Thank you. I mean, you've converted me, Carlos. And can I congratulate you, because the National Beat Poetry Foundation Incorporate has honoured you, Carlos the Unhappy as England's International Beat Poet Laureate. Woo! Woo!
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Congratulations. And I can
Yeah,
see why.
Carlos.
I mean, that poem was brilliant. It really tells people exactly what you feel it is. Brilliant. Can you please unmute and give Carlos the Unhappy a really great round of applause for that?
So we have 2 beat poets in the house.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yes.
Carlos,
Brilliant.
yay, nice.
You should be
Okay, well, we'll move on then to Brian
there.
Franco. Brian,
Hello.
you there? Hi.
I'm right here. Thank you very much. Let me pull this up. So this can be tentatively titled "A Possibly Accurate or Inaccurate Description of the Romance of Dane Ince and Tish Ince." Dane Ince was a kindly Dada beat poet from San Francisco, California, with a long, pointy goatee whose poetry took people on paths they never expected to travel on. Tish Campbell was an impassioned poetess from Gloucestershire, England, whose poet never ceased to take anyone's breath away. They met on a British Zoom poetry open mic, complimented each other's poems in the chat, became Facebook friends, followed each other on Instagram, texted on Messenger, then had Messenger phone calls and Zoom video conversations. These calls and conversations were becoming a daily ritual. They were both widowed and shared their grief and their new poetry with each other. Everyone could tell they were falling in love, but they were separated by an entire country and an Atlantic Ocean. After about a year in, Tish had a plane ticket, but a British COVID surge prevented her trip. She finally arrived in California in late December, over 2 years after they had met. By mid-January, Dane would propose. They went to a restaurant with white tablecloths made of cloth that had place settings with several forks, that served snails steamed in white wine with melted garlic butter with parsley. Dane and Tish started their meals with Caesar salads, which were whole, lightly dressed romaine leaves stacked atop each other. The top leaf was garnished with thinly sliced onions and tiny herb anchovy fillets, and surrounded with charred pan-roasted grape tomatoes and Parmesan shavings. Dane pre-ordered a chocolate souffle for dessert. The waiter placed 2 dessert plates with dessert forks in front of Dane and Tish, then put the souffle and a serving spoon in the center of the table. Then he brought out 2 champagne flutes with champagne. As he placed one in front of Tish, he shook the glass so Tish knew the ring was in there so she wouldn't accidentally swallow it. Dane was on one knee. "Tish, baby, I can't believe the love that you have brought into my life the second time around. That rarely happens for anyone. I would very much appreciate it if you spent the rest of your life with me. Please marry me." Tears were falling down his cheeks. Tish's mascara was running because she was crying. Dane rose to, she screamed, "Yes." Dane rose to her feet and gave her a soft, long kiss on the lips. They hugged each other. The whole restaurant erupted in applause. Some people were standing, giving a standing ovation. Many of the women in the restaurant had running mascara down their cheeks because they were crying too. And on Valentine's Day of 2022, they married and lived happily ever after. Thank you.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you. I'm sure they love that homage to them both.
Oh,
Brilliant. Thank you, Brian. I'm a little worried that you were so detailed. I mean, were you stalking them? Were you sort of sitting at the table next door?
This is a totally fictional account, but they did not eat they did not order the snails. The original version had what they both had for had their entrees, but I couldn't, that was too long. So.
Thank you so much, Brian Franco. Please unmute and give a big hand of applause for Generalissimo Brian Franco.
And congratulations to Dane. And congratulations, of course, to Dane for being the Beat Poet Laureate of California.
Oh my God. But yeah, congratulations. Brian, you're amazing. You were stalking us. Now,
I was
the real
really
story.
worried what he was going to say at one point.
Now, the real story is.
Right, yeah.
He was hiding under the table.
Yeah. Okay, that was brilliant. Oh, well, now we actually come to one of the highlights of our night, which I'm really, really pleased about. It gives me great pleasure to welcome Dane Ince. Dane Ince traveled from his Texas birthplace to Berkeley, California to study art. He resides sheltering in place in San Francisco. William S. Burroughs and South American writer Georges Louis Borges are some of his favorites. He's on the beat Dada spectrum between Marcel Duchamp and Andrew Goldsworthy. And congratulations on being the beat champion. I've forgotten the state, I do beg your pardon, but congratulations anyway. And please, a big hand, a welcoming hand for Dane Ince.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Where to begin with all the superlatives to describe this wonderful event hosted by Josephine Lay and Peter Lay and the Gloucestershire Poetry Society. I am very humbled to be included in this august gathering of fabulous artists. So thank you so very much. And Brian,
Well, you can still have to.
you make me cry, man. So if I could just say, please,
I love
everyone.
you, Dane. Thank you.
Thanks, Brian. If everyone could mute before I launch into this, it would be greatly appreciated. I know sometimes accidents happen, and so without further ado, let me plunge into this. This is a mixture of two groups of poets from poetry things, two or three. Some of them San Francisco streets, and then some of it is tech work from my background in Texas. This is not a sad and lonely door. It's the first and last door for someone. Your secrets that keep silent. You see, the paint is crying. Origin. When did I observe this? Right now. Some went west, some went east looking for the center, some stayed right here. They must have known the center was inside. I sprang up bare feet on caliche, the ocean gone, salt left behind. The salt is inside of me. Rattlesnake bites the cactus. This is the difference between religion and spirituality. How cactus got its thorns. Discussion of roses for some other day. Keep this in mind while I study where the ocean went. I now stand on its bones while I am still in ocean. I am the ocean. I cannot see my reflection in surging surf. The reverie knocks on the door. I get up and open the door. I do not get up and open the door. Inside the inside, AM radio is not able to tune in. FM. Ramada. Air so heavy, humid, crystal factory, tiny rainbows everywhere. This slender kiss, the chord of fantasy, death blossoms, Tuesday. A plate of barbecue, the poem, compact, dense strands woven, the ghost memory. I start this day, sadly, stand in the corner, hope the painted floor dries soon. What are you doing to me? What I do to myself? I paste the socially accepted sneer upon my solemn face, lighthouse to my secret misery, perfect. Prefer no help, but to look at rose petal, deliberation in the detail, absolution. I am sufficiently high for all practical purposes, practically. I was asked and told the only answer is bound to be cellophane. The children, nightmare orange skies, they now call dreams in their DNA. I am vaccinated. You? What did you do before the pandemic? You know that look, People have it when they're young. We had it before we mourned, saw the light last fading before the pandemic renaissance flew up into embers glowing night. I see the perfection denied me. Yes, I know I'm unworthy, but still the answer bleeds from the quill. The rocks and throat words, I keep them in my full stomach, sleeping on my back. I hear them clack together, crumble into stomach acid, lonely splinters stab. It's always my fault. I carry this black sack light as lead and floats on summer breeze. I am located in a part of the world where light fails to illuminate anything but misery and unpaid bills, also known as Hebronville, Texas. I drink enough to think I can find some comfort here. I stand on the edge of cactus shadows at noon. I commune with rattlesnakes, a kiss on the cheek, on my sunburned face. I watch the poor rodeo unfold, eat barbecue beef under the Ramada. The beer garden accordion unfolds the night under sapphire stars. So long ago. It was yesterday. Precision. My heart is broken wide. Where do house cats hide when bombs blew up what you were going to do tomorrow? Fall, see the blue sky below, Berkeley Terrace Rose Garden. Just before they fully spring bloom, the forecast was for thunderstorms. They just blew another way. We held hands, enjoyed the quiet peace. The war was far from our love. We being safe, the chatters of fear whispers the unfortunate terror in our ears. Around my wedding ring finger, the white gold band shines. San Francisco Bay sunshine, late afternoon, morning star bright, all the baby smiles. Dreams will be lost. I wonder what is wrong. What is wrong when the madmen are not insane? We do not speak of war, but it is there, blooming like wisteria. It is the time of year, apparently, when rich men bored with power kill, kill, kill. We sit on benches named for the dead, ignorant of your plan. The Tao. The world is a street, a drive, a cul-de-sac, a way, a road, a path, an avenue, a boulevard, the Champs-Élysées, a trail in the jungle, curvy, phenom, Lombard Street in the city by the bay, Rue de Lombard in Paris, the city of lights, packed, wailing, the jazz, the blues, the clubs in the night, in the city, throbbing goat trails, deer trails, cow trails, up the side of mountains, so we know they were trying to get to heaven, maybe already there, in their ruminations, already entered nirvana, while we stumble, falling, smoking, trying to get to the metro, sleep and morning calling. Rain. There is confusion, identity correct, a candle flame, immortalize the rest of days, to becoming nothing, never pass unto this, to be such beauty in the eyes of love. How does this ember burn? You married Icarus on the bus with a mask, fall down dead for not living up to the fact forever now. You, Iphianessa, crash on the way of joy. Where is the forever life for the king, for the shepherd begs for prey? Selena makes because of the riddle. Because of this riddle, it is rain. Golf. We talked on the phone. Then the time fly. You died. You died. You died. I have the evidence, the picture when you were 3. I am a babe in arms, the black and white photo. The Buick must have been Geneva green, Verde green, green. But I keep seeing it as verdant green on River of Calamity. You remember that time your dad pulled a gun and a can of mace on you? Well, it's like that, only she used a bullwhip from Mexico. Must have been 20 years since she passed. I don't remember when amen or hallelujah collapsed from my mouth. Yes, my mother beat me. I was not close to her in the end. How could I be so when this biography is what is left after natural disaster, hurricane, loaf of muffalata bread went rock stale not more than 2 seconds after we crossed the border, where the border is desert. After being ocean, geology, this epoch, somewhere in the mountains, somewhere in the snow, somewhere in New Mexico, the dinner candle wax all burnt out. Crumpled cotton napkins wadded, strewn about. I have forgiven all that, or else how can I keep the unimagined, unexamined china vase intact, sage pot smudging voodoo, bad spirits out, the adolescent feet dragging on the limestone bottom, spring-fed Pecos River carries me away. I cannot remember your name, dead sister. I do not remember the pain under infinite blue sky. Nepanthe is surely what they meant, floating down the river, watching cumulus or cumulus. Now is not the time to remember all the names. These raindrops flow over the dams on the Rio Grande out to the Gulf of Mexico. A bar on Haight Street. I felt tragic and alone, unfrozen, free in the can't be, won't be, studio backlot desert. I could have built a fairy tale castle with all the misery sand from the stiletto switchblade soul, martyred myself to endless unkind stabbing, all for touch. Crazy. Fat French fries, chili cheese, and onions would be just fine. I would crawl in a bottle, but I'm too fat to fit. Nothing would change once inside. Glad the slow motion car crashes over just before the gruesome death, so bad even the corneas would be worthless. She said she had seen all of this before. I tried to argue another time. It was useless. What's the word? Futile? Why? I'm now happy for that, because if I had managed to catch her off guard duty one night, seducer, I know how it would end. Don't go shopping when you're hungry. You always buy more than you need, get more than you bargained for. People can't stand to look in a busted mirror. It reflects the undisputed, the lie you cannot get away from. That is the truth. No one wants a constant reminder. They will hate you for it tomorrow. Everything she told me dug me out like a canoe. If I ever get inside that bottle, can you chuck me off the Golden Gate? I have some traveling I want to do. Dream. I had the same dream 40 nights ago. 40 nights ago in the dream, I'm dreaming, the alarm clock in the dream goes off. I wake up and I cannot find my dream journal. I forget all my dream before I can write it down. The alarm clock goes off. 39 days ago in the dream, I forget to set the alarm clock. I wake up late, rush to work. All I can remember is that I'm a man. The alarm clock goes off. I forget to write in my journal. I cannot remember the dream 38 days ago. I guess I have a thing for irony. I guess I have to sweet talk it into bed. You are plain spoken like enigma, healthy like cornflakes and graham crackers. I never found a healing place with my mother. I hope you find yours. Morning drunks were never very entertaining. They have the purpose of oblivion. Santa Ana. Gray, unpainted clapboard house on Gould, ringworm on the next door neighbor's kid's arm. We played the tableside jukebox, some song by some new band, all the rage, the smell of peeling wallpaper, the plaster wall, what comes through the AM radio static. Ricky Rooster Crow, Steve Stallion, Winnie's approval of the DJ's music selection, tobacco juice stains the side of the pickup truck door, Lost $300 someplace on the top of the canyon, overlooking the muddy, winding Rio Grande. Down below, low summer shimmers, heat. I nearly bought a condo in Bracketville. Empty eye, the empty time. Yesterday, now, cattle slaughter town, meat packing hangout, Northside beer bar. Doughboy helmet hangs a welcome in the window. Owners, beds down in a pool hall table, green felt room in the back, just big enough for a bed. Parade by the courthouse, look out the waiting room window, green and brown. The pumps pump out the slime of little more than 7 decades comes to this. Fishing on the lake, early morning promise, and the water west of the dance hall casino, long burned to the ground. You never taught me to swim, learning later to as a Boy Scout. They pulled us out of the channel by the church, floated down the Pecos, rushed by bedrock limestone, Big Bend hanging tree. I know about hankering for a lily. This is how I pass the time these days, sleeping on a Gulf of Mexico sand. I know bugs eat balls of oil. Waking up on the shore, I slept through Galveston hurricane. I fished for bait shrimp off Padre Island. I've seen the marsh where Santa Ana surrendered, blood in muddy water. Long time ago, still feeds the scavengers. Wind Creek. When I fell, when the tip potential, the egg cracked scorpions into the perfectly seasoned cast iron pan regularly used for cornbread, when the promises sour milk, the screaming loud. I learned a lesson that cost you your life. What will I do when the plaintive cry of cat at my feet, stop and go desert? This is now, not when. Solitary stealing, bargaining for more than 6 years ago. I had no imagination what yesterday would be. I lived there for a minute. When tomorrow comes, I will not recall what was so important that I could not breathe, why I did everything in my power to not live gently, why myself is an angry twin, refuses to speak, ignorant twin language to myself, when fruit salad spends the rent money on number 5, ignorant, useful as a rock star, holds the door open with its weight. The flies sneak through the small hole in the screen door. I went swimming in the muddle. When the summer sun smiling blisters, when me walks across the gravel road like the gravel road used to be baked dry, sunburnt ejaculation yellow, pick up the best peach tree switch when the mud puddle was special and warm. I will keep the meaning of the rule of 3 secret for now. It would just spoil the ending. Why, when you won't accept the beginning? I carry this unending wound ocean in my imaginary Texas. Chew sweet mesquite beans, cactus blossom thorns, stick my memory dust devils flat and holy, the perfect shape, smoking over drapes over cedar fence posts, mistake of swallowing tobacco juice instead of spitting, swimming in west, clear, crystal spring water, San Felipe Creek, when Geary Street, named for the final alcalde and first mayor of San Francisco, starting at Market Street at Lotta Crabtree's Fountain, the meeting place for victims and ghosts of quake and the fire 114 years on, still going, all the landmarks passing blind to the collapse of Broken Heart, Union Square horror show of commerce, murder and death to the Philippines. Just look at the monument standing, goddess of victory, Nike, high up and proud. Oh, St. Francis, the accusation of what celebrities have done, the booze, the bottles, the walls know all, the stage deli closed, now a jack-in-the-box, the edifice, the icon, the house of touring package shows, the Alcazar, exotic revival style, massage parlors, lonely dancing wigs on Polk Street, hoping for comfort for a dime, blows out wide, boulevard wide, the Fillmore, Janis Joplin, Jefferson Airplane still ringing, the bathroom in the bar where I snorted cocaine with Johnny Angel, still throbbing cock hard, Japantown, sharp origami folding, it's prohibitive, it's rolling, heart pounding over ancient frozen sand dunes, humanity crashing as waves and waves to the great highway, to the to the hem of this high tight skirt of a femme of a city, floating to the cliff house, swan dive to the Pacific Ocean, kings and queens, when buffaloes and bear were kings and queens of everything. Crow lived in a burrow underground, hopping and taunting wit are all that kept him from Coyote's dinner plate. Crow's abode was stolen from Rattlesnake, an albino who lingered lonely in the cactus shade, only really living at night. There are villains and heroes in this tale, valiant armada battles upon the deep diamond sea, wrecked ships of the dead, of the defeated, now sleeping on the bottom, silent under dirty, now cold bathtub water, rubber ducky bobbing, floating, pecking, and waving on the surface, glorious and gloating. Children warm in bed dream of bugs and grass and flowers and laughing and playing with friends. How things will be one day when they're all grown up, like a woven basket to hold acorns for meal. All things, all beings one. I am that rock. I am sand. I am that hand pouring beer from a beer bottle into that glass. I am that mountain man telling jokes. Last year in Thailand, on a boat, floating on a river, I watched the cloud storybook tell me all the secrets it could share. There is more, but one can only understand so much at any one time. 12-bar blues. Who needs the ruptured placental hemorrhaging, baked dry, blown away, feathers clean off the Nevada summer desert blacktop highway, mirage shimmer in the distant heat, hate like no other mother, daughter, my jokes and carnival hat, no match, no soother, no cigarette, backbeat 12-bar blues, this shit just got real. Spread your legs, angel chariot, wing wide, we fly at night on moonlit dreams, you feel the chiggers bite, crickets, lightning bugs, the bourbon burn, capital punishment for when you stood instead of sat down. The method of punishment for you talking right out loud when you know you should have been quiet. The ordained death comes for your good intentions to padlock your Sisyphean heart. Eventually, exhaustion and asphyxiation like famine babies born of men whose petrified eyes without blinking, no tears, float the tin cup armada, laying siege to El Moro, the tattooed crucifixion, just a long sting, the death of a criminal, just like you outside the wall. The sobs are silent, the dust blows over like a universal joke pulled just on you. Up there, burning, bleeding, lost language, no one can read, no one is laughing. We have seen this unfunny too many times. Hear the weary warble, tumbleweed, sand. Life is a good mess to be in. When you're laughing, you were laughing in your dream. You woke up angry. The mind mistake is to think one thing is just one thing, pure, like bliss. Disillusion, confusion persist. One thing is nothing, one thing is everything. This too traps us in the box, perception, wanting what we want, love, affirmation, the call of your name within the earshot of all in town. I'm worried about all the wrong things. Love is love. I wondered how to finish this, to make the bow just right, gleaming wrapping paper, the tapping time shuffle falls silent. In one clear voice, I say, I hand you my heart. You are my best and only lover. I am so desperate for this nightmare pandemic to fall asleep and dream better dreams, where everyone knows that you and I are we. I love you, Tish. Thank you.
You're still muted, Josephine.
It takes a bit to come out of that. Wow. I'm not quite sure what to say about that, but that was fabulous, Dane. Obviously, what I did put, I tried to capture some of the phrases. I would really want to read that. I would love to read that. I don't know whether you are going to publish it or if there's any way of getting it, but it should be, and I would love to read it. So please,
thank you. I will send it to you.
Thank you. Could you all unmute, please, and give an amazing applause for Dane Ince.
Brilliant piece.
Absolutely. So I think after that we probably need a break. So I'm going to suggest we break for 10 minutes. We'll come back at 8:13. And then we will hear from Tish. So that was wonderful, Dane. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. And I had to get up, was crying, going to get a tissue, and then I was like, I need to cough, I can't, because he's got a stream of consciousness happening.
Yeah, that's true. And of course you couldn't make a noise.
No.
Brilliant. Wow.
Oh my God, that was fantastic. Oh my God.
Sorry. Okay. It gives me great pleasure to welcome Tish back. Tish Campus, we all know her, but Patricia Ince now, or Tish Ince Poet. It's lovely to have you back. Tish is a London-born Trinidadian Irish feminist, published poet based in San Francisco, nominated for Gloucestershire Poet Laureate in 2019. She also won a Paper Nations Award as Marginalised Writer Southwest in 2020. She has been recently compared to artist Kae Tempest and poet Langston Hughes. She's a passionate and impassioned Black conscious poet and brings a modern lick to her take on fighting against racism and oppression. She writes page performance and video poetry with musical spoken word in the US and performs in San Francisco and globally. So please unmute yourself and give a brilliant warm welcome to Tish Ince. Sorry, still think of you as Tish. I'm going to change that. Welcome, Tish.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm delighted to be here, to be asked to come and feature back in Gloucestershire, and particularly with my husband. It's lovely. I'm going to start, as I said earlier, that most of my poetry began again at my return after my husband died in 2017. My mother and father, 4 months before my husband died, my father died, my mum a few years before that, and 3 of my sisters. So I did write under the hashtag This Shite Grief. and I'm paying homage to the beginning of this set to my mum, my Irish mum. It's a trilogy of poems to her. So the first one is called Mam's Porridge. Rolled oats, traditional in the pot. Put the heat down low. Don't forget the salt. Sit away from the cooker. Now watch. The biggest pot filled to the top, hungry mouths opening. Get away from the cooker now. Wished mind. Fearing a spoon on back of hand, hot. Bellies full, silent lot. Cross legs at a table, her tea in the pot. Cigarette ash, some dropped. Records play, window watch. Thank you. And this next one is called Wearing Black. This is about me watching my mum in grief. I am dropped like a baby from a bough, high, unrocked. In the fall, I am lost. I am a breastless bairn, motherless, wandering again without. I am roadside, fireside, money run out. In meters we empty, lights out. I am a dark that should have no child. I am black nylon veil. I am in church watching you, beautiful, watching a child boxed in oak. You are Jackie O, fabulous in 70s black. I am eyeliner, wet and skewed, wailing, reeling from a taxi that enslaved your grief demented raw. No one holding you, reaching in air, elbow caught, falling in holes, compassion in me like mud. Thrown around, clay from eyes, red earth drama that I frowned upon. You return to bury the first of three. But you're still not collecting me. I 11, she 17. Now I am you. I am nylon headscarf. Quietly, I am your Bette Midler favorite song. I am the rose burned in April snow. I am crescendo reached. I am forgiving, grief living, wearing black. Thank you. And this last one is written recently. And it's called, this is about my mum passing in hospital. It's called Cold Silver Bedpan for Mum. The cold silver bedpans, I complained for one for way too long. Your insistence to go it alone. I want you to walk even when they said no. Combing your hair, I watch you sleep, hospital bed, lullaby, electric hum. Reiki music, oils and candles, the beautiful end I know will come. Your skin, your warm skin, your Irish freckles, I have no time to count. I am fast in remembering all I can, taking you all in. Your prayers for us, but yet you're soon gone. I hear you say there's a party at yours when you get home and no one's smoking there no more from your passionate second chance pneumonia lung. The people that came, it was carnival. They had feathers, too happy for this room of death of mum. I was angry at strangers in turquoise, orange, and smelling of red striped beer. Today, your birthday, I remember you. I know I did my best, so did you. I light candles for my freckled, Irish, cigarette-loving mum. Bless you, mum. Thank you. And this one is for my late husband. It's called Recalling Summer Sun. There was no end to its radiance. We swallow summers and mouth them into clouds, as if our sky dragons needed more, like apricot jam on white buttered bread, laying in the grass, hands clasped behind strawberry fingered sticky curls. On warm blankets, explorers of the cirrus, adventurers of Avalon dreams, till the cool of dusk, watching the sun inch toward magenta horizons, across our sleepy cricket hollows, we will follow soon, carrying slippers and empty flutes of champagne. Now you are gone like summer's last, sunset memories still warm, no more of these darling days with you. Thank you. This next one is called Arriving San Francisco. sorry, it's called 6 Days. It's upon arrival in San Francisco. 6 days in. We awoke and shopped. Eggs and avocados are smooth on my tongue. There is a contrast to the toasted bagel on the blue glass plates that I adore as I do his hand coming into view, love and eggs dripping through the blue. We were in bed, meditating together on our lovemaking and had that unmistakable Sunday seduction call us at the same time in the comforting sleepy trough from skin-touched peaks. Let's go shopping, we said together. Now blue eyes sparkled into brown and we are dazzled and caught in our curled and knotted hair. I am ready, he is ready, the hair is uncombed, bed hair in us both, on our way to bed bath and beyond.
Love it.
Thank you. This next one is around my observations very early on in December on homelessness. It's called They Push Carts. They push carts to the drop yellow curbs, change their minds on the crosswalk traffic, bring ropes tighter around waists in cool San Francisco winds. 2 coats, wool hats and hoods battle rain and streets where they're mobile down the Embarcadero in the Mission, Fremont and Geary. Christmas wanderers, homeless carts and cardboard beds, shelter shops of doorway stables, wise, old, cold men, women of the gods Mary left bereft. I am Bay Bridge lights in eyes, heartbroken by the homeless carts. Thank you. This next one is called Beat on San Francisco Streets, and this has been accepted into the anthology for Kerouac's 100th celebration, 100th celebration. I can't remember the title of it now, but it's coming out. I've just put it on my page at Facebook. Beat on San Francisco Streets. We walk across these beat streets, find all-in-one bagels on Townsend at 7 a.m. Drink mocha and finger lick cream cheese, sitting on concrete walls by office windows. Opposite bricks red are keystoned while trucks park and drop their loads. Watching early morning designers bring clothes on hangers over their shoulders, eyeing up the homeless look we throw. We got 2-day bed hair, shoulder length, I'm trying to finger comb. Now we got washing up in a sink when we get home. But I'm tempting the jaywalk boot in me to start back along another beat street. These silent roads peppered with the bent, walking street sleepers, street walking, bin checking, eyes low, hope lower, yet these sun rays are early morning sun. And would Jack eat these words and cheese? Watch how others walk on by. Would he bend with, tip his slouch hat? Would he have his coffee white, flat, tender suffering loose like that? Would he sit, be happy to commune, sip whiskey in a bar, chat with bartenders, these homeless or royalty with the same regard? Did he find himself shut out or dig the alternate dudes or the way he spoke with those having less? The boy, the man feeling the come eat mother memories, realized through these words, soul and food, in his recognition of the poor and oppressed. I am in lesser threads, treading beat streets, leather-worn souls, politic rising in my belly, South Beach, North Beach, and alleys light away to darker nights, cold falling on perfumed back to bed breast. Would Kerouac see all this now? Would he raise a glass to the freeway, Bay Bridge, the fog the street sleepers have for their misty pillowed heads? 100 sun rays on his 100 years, unbend, raise their eyes and say yes. Thank you. Sorry about the beeps. I've got people messaging, wishing me luck. One sec before the battery dies on my phone. This is some poetry about Ukraine. The war in Ukraine. In a bed, calling out in my sleep. I am in a bed, a warm room, dreams of mothers without a man by their side, conscripts to the war, cities belie the overthrown. Under my blanket, under the same moon and sun, man moaning his freedom's breath into my breast silently. We are in fields watching misled missiles venture into kitchens, tables, front room TVs and schools, being witness and hopeless at once. Caravans of green enter Kiev along aortic vein roads, throbbing their bloodlust thunder on both flowers and weeds. Under wheels in the heart's chambers are hidden children and love in caverns, pumped and red, thriving. Nothing needs to die, all be dead, no one, no thing, not one single thing. Skies above fields are crying for those that remain, and those that left or then returned, orange and heavy with ash and dust. I am alive in a bed. Thank you. And this next one I've not performed before, live anyway, on a Zoom. This is called I Am Running, another one on the Ukraine war. I am 30. As I took this age in running shoes, starting pistol as a guide to the 30 more, a fun, a student, maybe a pushchair jogging mum, a working worldly wife. It is fired, and now I am running. Behind me, freedom takes a fall. My 30 years almost done, hurdled over Putin to the red roads, gravel knees hit floor, imagining my vacuum shell, he blood bent me in prayer. I am lifted in my heels made firm to the stadium. I hurdle the bodies, ankles of winged souls. Peace, podium, winner, none. Lay my shoes to rest, showering bloody gym vest. I am protein shake, night terror quake, my morning run. Peace, podium, winner, none. Thank you. And the next few poems are around racism and oppression in the US and murders. And this one is called Down. Don't think it should be said, don't think it should, don't want to keep thoughts running around like mice, scratching at walls, seeking food, our old thoughts that bring me back to bed, and duvets wrap around me, that comfort constrictor, lay still in blood and skin thicker. I am rising through these naked dreads, these murders stand behind this tape, police said, stood still, became still, was still, did as I was told, sat down, stayed down, played down, felt down. Looking at the color of skin, placement in history, the places we are, want to be, find a fashion in redress, address, but down is still the new little black dress. Our changing youth that overturns a page, overlearns these games, don't finish their education. Nations leave to subjugate in relation to kings. Watch Rodney, Martin, Malcolm Mandela. Every black man killed for you and justice, martyr without a choice. We here are make your voice. We are resounding black river. Waters rush fast like the blood to my head when black man dead is said. Gonna get this down, this being down at being down. Gonna make this scratch and strip at the skirting, these down thoughts, these down black arms, the little black dress, the mouths full of mice and death. Thank you. This next one is called White America. This is about the use of the word, which came seemingly into fashion in October the 20th, when I first heard it said all over Twitter and elsewhere, lynch. White America, you gone, gone. When your white people state exclaims lynch is a word they can regurgitate. No matter where you stand, take a stand, break it down, holler out, slap that word out of your white people mouth. Take this bar of soap. Eat this word, clean it out of white baby mouths. Send your disaffected white people youth back into their rooms. Use a switch on them. Beat this word out in all your cries for humanity. Ground them. Keep them indoors to learn that you, fathers and mothers of a young white lynch mouth, is closed shut. Older white America, forefathers of peace, take back all privilege. These white people are put back on the bench, not scoring, not making the team. Make America's white people clean. Some you can be proud of. Yes, right now you ashamed. Shame, shame, shame on you, America, unless you bring your white people under control. Thank you. This next couple of poems are about Roe v. Wade and the Supreme Court decision to ban abortions for women. My body is not yours. My body is not yours to bring a life to fruition, to declare a war on my womb, or call my sex your reason to be vexatious. Your wielding power sword, these shackles of shame, they are loose upon my feet. They have no weight. I am not your body to take rape or incest, nor even blame. Odds are stacked against my woman, my human. I am a womb in a room full of court jesters, joking, poking sticks at me across states, across the boundary of relate. Don't relate, can't relate. Stop, don't stop there with your slicing up of my rights pie, cutting peaches and cream into a misogynist dream. I am not yours. I am not yours. Step off. Your boots are hurting you more than me. Thank you. And this last one is called Hellraisers. Oh, sorry, this penultimate one is called Hellraisers. Hellraisers took a constitution, let it run around in streets, let it rise up, take a stick and beat us. This is an aborted democratic state, covered women's faces in Afghanistan. The new Taliban law shows us the nearing, the ever-increasing circle fate of this new woman hate. We are in a state, we are appealing and yet reveal the inner workings of misogyny, the inner streak and strike. Wombs are filled with lightning, wombs are filled with wrong, wombs are prison rooms, wombs are filled with rape. We are gathered in hell's bells, left to ruminate on this bitter woman batter Bible chatter. We are covered in your handmaid's tale, valley of death we walk, no evil on our faces, many now unseen, robed in red and lie in beds, you say seducing, now force producing. We are women reducing our children for battle, the newly born dead. We are seen unclean, ordered instead. Mother Mary, we are your sister. Brother, we are your mates. Father, we are undone in this Hellraiser wake. Thank you.
Woo! I can't stay muted. I know, but I have to applaud that one. Okay. I'm sorry. I hate this keeping quiet. I really do. Okay.
I've got this. This last one is called Machine Gun News, and this is my coming down. This is me asking, please no more. I am at your mercy, on my knees, begging the pleas to fall on your widescreen TV ears, to ask that you deliver each bullet of death to my heart with less aim, less caliber and destruction. I ask this last time today for death to be the footnote of one very old man at peace in his bed, wife by his side and grandchildren with poems of how much life and love he'd shared. I want to be spared. I want to be tears of someone's joy, not even my own, just something less fired straight into me, less peppered up and down my soul, less fatal, less harsh, just less lock and load and reload, less for me and my heart to stop the bleed. Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone.
Whoa, fabulous, Tish. You always were a firecracker, but you've grown into a volcano. Fabulous. Please, everyone, unmute yourselves and give a fabulous applause for Tish.
Bless you, bless you.
Go.
Bless you.
I'm just a bit worried they're going to not throw you out.
Oh, let's see where my husband can hide me.
Absolutely fabulous. Thank you both of you so much. No, Tish, don't try and be like Dane. Dane is him and you are you, and elements of both probably cross, but fabulous, absolutely fabulous. Thank you so much. Come on, one more round of applause. Unmute. Don't have anybody muted? Everybody unmute. You're all muted. Come on, Gerald, unmute. Catrice, unmute. Ron, unmute. Unmute and clap. Thank you. Brilliant. Thank you so much. Okay. Whew. I'm not quite sure.
I'll put my links in the chat now.
Yeah, do please.
Please do.
I'm not sure whose poor person's got to follow that. I'm going to pick Gerald Kells. Sorry, Gerald, you have to take over for the rest of the open mic.
Not the whole. Yeah, I'm sorry. I went in and out with my internet, so I hope it doesn't cause me problems. I'm just going to do two for you. This one's called A Garden That Will Not Grow. I've planted a garden that will not grow. The spade says yes, but the plants say no. The fork says dig, but the weeds reply, remember the wind that will pass you by. Because I've planted a garden that won't take root. The bugs and the birds don't give a hoot. I've marked out the land, but it is no good. I can't make the grass grow the way it should. Yes, I've planted a garden, but as I stare, it's not like the garden I hoped would be there. And now I've no energy, so all I can do is surrender to the wilderness that quietly grew. I wrote that for me. I think I might send it to Boris, actually, by the way. He might benefit from it at this moment. And the other one I'm going to do is this one. It's called What You Do to Others. What you do to others. Things that have not yet been done to you. Things that no one intends to do to you. Things that someone else did to someone else long ago. Things that you dredge up like ancient wrecks. Things that go beyond what you did before. Things that shock, that have value to shock, that are shocking. Things you deny you did and no one can prove it. Things you say that others did and claim no evidence. Things you do while those around you stay silent, saying nothing. Things that are nothing and unimportant in the grand scheme of things, or so you say. Things that will be remembered in years to come. Things that will form the basis for future things, just like these things, cruel things, things that are yet to be done when you order them done, things that make good television, television people watch and don't want to watch and do want to watch and can't help themselves, things that prove you are a big man and we are small, even when you are a small man clutching at the violence, things that can only be justified if you are wronged or others are in the wrong, things that you flatten into folders under outstretched fingers pressed down onto a long table where you make the world stand waiting, things that God knows about and priests do not and priests should not, things that you do to others which should not be done at all, things that you will get away with because some people always do. Those things, the things you do unto others which you would not have done unto you. That's it. Thank you.
I'll have see, hang on.
You're muted, Josephine.
Yes, and I was just trying to say, sorry, that was brilliant. Yes, you did follow well, Gerald. Thanks very much. Please, big hand for Gerald Kells.
Oh,
Flemmy, you're not muted, my love. Can you mute her, Peter?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Next up, we have Agatha Palmer. Welcome, Agatha.
Thank you. Wow, what an evening. Incredible poetry. Thank you for having me here. And congratulations to Dane, to amazing projects happening out there. I've got a couple of poems within the three minutes. One is so many good causes have been defended here. My little thing is defending the literary language that I learned from dictionaries and pronunciation guides and so on as a foreigner. So in defense of literary language, some words swoon their necks and sing their vowels with full roundedness and beauty, while others call, missing the note and tone, falling limp on my eardrum. When boundaries of strong consonants give rhythm, that start and finish of words' meanings are splendid, like Atlas, holding up the structure with athletic vigor. I wish to defend literary language. Without it, guides to pronunciation would be void, dictionaries impure, our traditions lost, and dialect left forever unbalanced. Mind the gap you left where the letter T should have been. It gawps, lingers, a linguistic faux pas. Your language is scrawny, a blunt scalpel for castrating words of their potential, missing the structure, a porridge of sounds. Why do you rape and pillage your own tongue? So it was a bit of a rant I had with a beautiful man I dated, so wise, but just the language just was porridge. This one little poem is for some friends, especially one person among my friends who doesn't always sleep well. So, sleep. The privilege, Sleep is the privilege of safety, an ultimate reprieve from all that otherwise could bother you, deep drifting into letting go. Your unconscious mind spinning dreams, the captain of your night crossings, like a dog fetching past events and mixing them up with symbols, toiling to unravel your knots. It offers you resolutions to all aspects of your life, served in frames of unremembered dreams. Thank you. And this is from my first collection called From the Land of Marmite with Love.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Agatha. Please put that in the chat so that people can find it if they wish to. Please, that was a lovely poem. Could you please unmute and give a big round of applause for Agatha Palmer. Right, next up we have Robert Fleming, I think. If he's still there, hope he is. Hi. Welcome.
Good evening, good afternoon. I'm Robert Fleming, a word artist from Lewis, Delaware, United States. May I share the screen? I'm actually a visual poet.
We haven't got our usual tech chap here. He's in Spain on holiday, so I don't know whether, can you manage to do that, Peter?
So you can either go to security and click on allow participants to share screen, or you can go to participants and select me and make me a co-host.
Yeah, that's probably the easier one for you, Peter.
A bit of warning might have been useful. Right, in theory, you now have the opportunity to do it.
Hopefully.
Terrific. Okay, so I selected poetry tonight based on the name of your event. So I selected to share on birds. And this poem is about crows. It's called Murder. It's actually a linked, it's a linked list of haiku. Look out arrives, sky smart, street smart, human smart. Crow takes off cleared. No humans in trees. Bird only treetop permit. Crow only tree roost. Union employment. Masters of night and surveillance. Crow neighborhood watch. Grain seed trinket gift. Human face recognition. Crow flyby greeting. Ka RSVP. Crow murder party. And I will share one more. This is about another bird called macaw. Sap barks flows a rainforest. Pistachio parrots canopy perch. Rainforests make good perches. Black beaks and black talons. Plumes of yellow and blue. Monogamy since first mating. Father flies a mouse to his nest. Mother guards the next macaws. Peck on riverbanks, clay licks. Digest toxins from uracrepitin seeds. The logger's billfold is empty. Deforest half the rainforest is not enough. Talons unperch into nets, into pets. Macaw calls are not called back. Thank you for letting me share my visual poems of birds and greetings across the Atlantic from Delaware.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you. That was brilliant. Welcome. Thank you for coming and doing that visual poetry. Brilliant. Can you please unmute and give a big hand of applause for Robert Fleming? Next up, we have Derek Doran. Welcome, Derek.
Hello, good evening. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Good. What a powerful and passionate performance by Mr. and Mrs. Ince, by the way. Let me just acknowledge that. Okay, I have two short pieces for you. This first one is called The Garden of Eden. I was moved to tears by news of your untimely life. I remember the day we strolled hand in hand through Elgar country or somewhere, and I pointed out the tree canopies and their crowned shyness. Seasonal fluctuations, you said. Enigma variations, I said. A lone oak sowing its seeds. Your steadfast love, O Lord, extends to the heavens, but even the Garden of Eden has weeds. I asked a simple question, inviting a single sentence reply, but instead you launched into a lecture on the properties of yttrium or something, and I just nodded along in case I nodded off. Tree huggers at 1 o'clock, you said. The ladyboys of Bangkok, I said. A lone oak holding on to its leaves. The present is always the best time to be alive, but even the Garden of Eden has weeds. Thank you. And this second one, I don't know how this will translate to our friends in the States. If you do as much driving as I do, you will have come across this character. Whether he's universal, I don't know. It's called White Van Man. Man in a white van man, coming at me round the bend. He's round the twist, drives like he's pissed. He's a man in a white van. He's called Mike or John or Dave or Dan. He's a caveman, an ape man, treats the road like a skid pan. You really shouldn't oughter. It's white van manslaughter. Man in a white van man. Every day I take the road in fear. Dan the van's grinning from ear to ear. He's going to send me spinning out of gear. He's not one to hedge his bets. Puts my bus in the hedge instead. I've got school kids on board. It's a tight country lane. I need divine intervention because he's fucking insane. So I can only do what I can in the face of white van man. I've aligned all my chakras. I put crystals in my pants. I meditate from dawn till dusk and practice Gregorian chants. I've danced around the maypole. I tried burning joss sticks, filled my bus with whale music and studied with the Gnostics. I've started praying to Mecca. St. Christopher's been hailed. I've sacrificed a goat, had its carcass impaled. I've prayed to the Holy Trinity. I've sent them a plea. I've buddied up with the Buddha. Lord Shiva's protecting me, but fuck me sideways, that's another near miss. That white van man's really boiling my piss. He's a man in a white van. He's called Mike or John or Dave or Dan. He's a madman, a caveman, treats the road like a skid pan. Dan the man in his fucking white van, man in a white van man. Thank you.
Yeah, Derek.
Thank you. Obviously, I need to put the usual caveats in about if you drive a white van. I'm
sorry.
And if your name's Dan, you know.
I'm even sorry. Yeah.
Derek, we have those in the States, but we call them the police.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I guess those sort of people are universal, I guess.
Yeah. Please unmute and give a big hand for Derek Doran, the only one and only Derek Doran.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Okay, and next up we have Liz Bell. Welcome, Liz. Lovely to have you here.
Thank you. I thought there was someone else before me. Oh, I will.
No, I think you're next. Unless I've got
You
it
had to
wrong.
revise the order.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
I've been having several messages changing things all the time, so but you're next. Welcome.
Lovely, happy to be here. Thank you. I don't know many of you. My name's Liz Bell. I live in the Forest of Dean in Gloucestershire, and this is the first time that I've shared my work at Crafty Crows, and one of the first times I've really shared it online at all. I've been writing poetry and writing generally for a really long time, but I haven't.
So I think we need to just do woo for the first time. Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Woo, woo.
The first the poem I'd like to read for you tonight, I'll read two if I've got time, but we'll see, is a poem which the title of this is based on a Japanese idiom, mono no aware, which literally means the pathos of things. And while it doesn't quite have a direct translation in English, it embodies a concept that runs through a lot of Japanese art, which is about embracing the beauty in transience and imperfection. So this is mono no aware, nothing lasts, nothing is finished, and nothing is perfect. Your love for me was a bonsai tree, carefully cultivated to look like the real thing. Nature confined to acceptable proportions. A miniature version of something mighty, styled for aesthetics. My, what a fine thing it is. And it was fine in its own way, in that pot, on that table, under that roof. And I know you clamped and pruned and trained with the best of intentions. And after witnessing so many saplings crushed and torn by storms and vandals, who could blame you? You wanted something that was yours, kept small, so you wouldn't have to share it. But stunted trunks and shallow roots were never meant to fight for space with agile shoots whose thirst for light would blindly crowd them out. And here, in the real world, where nothing is perfect, your exacting designs could never thrive. So your love stays in its small pot. We keep it in the shade and hope for tiny flowers. Thank you. Josephine, have I got time to read one more?
Yeah, one short one will be fine.
Super, thank you. This one is called Circus. I don't play games when it comes to people. What you see is what you get. And if you don't like it, well, actually, if you don't like it, I'll assume it's me that's wrong. I'll contort every part of myself to fit into the box you gave me and jump through flaming hoops to be the person you want to see. I'll juggle knives to meet your standards and walk the tightrope to prove my worth. I'll wear a mask to make you laugh, put on a wild costume and paint myself into a clown of your choosing. People tell you to be yourself, but I don't know who I am. I hate playing games, but I'm great at pretending. So if you can tell me who you want me to be, I'll bring the whole circus to town and put on a marvellous show.
Brilliant. Thank you, Lisbeth. I really enjoyed that. I do hope you come again and bring some more of your poems. That's brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Please
Thank you.
give a big hand for Lisbeth.
Yeah.
And next up, we have Elmian Poet. Hi,
She was
Elmian.
a second ago. She seems to have disappeared.
Oh. Okay, well then, oh, it's interesting. Right, well, we better go on to our Clive Oseman then. Hello, he's there, Clive. We never know what's going to happen when Clive comes on. This is why I keep him till the last.
They always put me on last because they're scared everybody's going to go once they've seen me, basically.
Well, actually, you're not going to be last tonight, Clive. I'm going to be last tonight. But
you're always scared I'm going to frighten everybody away, aren't
yeah.
I? Right, okay. I've written a lot of new stuff, actually, and this is one of them. This is, I think there's a couple of people in the room that will have heard this, and it's called I Will Do Anything. Meatloaf said, I will do anything for love, but I won't do that. We never found out what that was, but I'm pretty positive he wasn't thinking along the same lines as me. Maybe it was, I won't get vaxxed. Who knows the facts? We will never know now, will we? He can never tell us now he's dead, so I'll say what I wouldn't do instead, to put all the speculation to bed. You'd think an ageing, big-nosed ginger tosser would do anything for love. And if push comes to shove, I probably would, but there are certain things I can't envisage doing, even for the privilege of being loved. They include... hang on. I'm sure there was something. What was it? I'm sure there was. Oh, shit. Oh, yeah. I wouldn't snog a crocodile or any form of reptile until I was absolutely sure it had cleaned its teeth, or at least had a tic-tac. I wouldn't have dodgies like Roger the Dodger does, and I wouldn't let a woodpecker near my todger, because that would be courting disaster, and could just ruin the happy ever after. I wouldn't date a Tory or drink WD-40, though the latter is the preference of the two. If they supported Brexit, I'd be making a swift exit. I wouldn't want to get involved, and nor should you. I wouldn't have relations with a pig, because that's not right or proper. David Cameron may have had a dig, but I'd rather pork a copper. I think. Yeah. I wouldn't groom a lion with a toilet brush. That would be just stupid. Display my bravery, you say. Why don't you fuck off, Cupid? I wouldn't swim 100 metres in a pool of Andrew's sweat. 12 million quid for someone he's never met. Yeah, right, that makes perfect sense. But most of all, I wouldn't try to prove my strength, and please don't think me rude, by trying to climb the north face of Piers Morgan's moobs. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Clive. That's brilliant. Please unmute and give a fabulous round of applause for Clive Oseman.
You've done it again. Golly. It's so good.
Oh, Elmian, I did call you and you disappeared. I thought, oh, she's gone.
My laptop crashed. It's an Apple. It's not supposed to crash.
Oh, well, you see, not even apples are necessarily perfect.
No.
Okay. Take the floor, Elmian.
Oh, thank you. Goodness. Right. I will do 2 poems, if that's okay.
You've got 4 minutes tonight.
Oh, that's so kind. Thank you ever so much. Good. Right. So 2 poems. 2 poems. Let's see how that goes. Snakeskin. Seamless sheath unfurling in the curling skin of my hand. Breath flares, it scares me. In the glare we share, we bare our souls, our teeth glinting in the glow. Snarl or smile, my inner child, hair wild, unzips me from inside. Shedding me as skin, shaking off the scales of old wives' tales, scales balanced between hunger and need, the need to feed, to bleed, revealing raw sin, crawling under your skin, bright, shining pulses, drumming beat, convulses, I curl, unfurl, evaporate. And the second one's called Uncle. A poem lurks beneath the surface of my mind. A whale shape bulges up, but the water doesn't break. You were the last. You knew my father's past. You have his calves and ankles, don't you know? His closed eye laugh and silver whiskers too. What did you see when you would dive beneath the blue? The family were all so proud of you. A Navy diver, stronger than the rest. Not even cousin Colin could beat your best. With quiet twinkles and those naughty, pale blue eyes. You kept your secrets close with little smiles and barbecues in style. But nothing ever tasted as good as my father in a happy mood. Did you know him before he was sad? Before he was broken? Before he turned bad? Was he good? Was he kind? Did you still love him or just get by when he had to be daddy and hit you till he cried? Your broken mother made him chief, stole his childhood like a rotten thief. And the army made it worse. The shouty sergeant major with lips so thin and terse, who barked orders at children, and when he wanted to impress, would demand a show for special guests, who made us play and perform ignorant of the storm building inside of me. But over the whale shape, the water bulges, does not break. The whale turns, the water churns, and the ocean swallows it whole. Thank you.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you. That was lovely, Elmian. Well done. Please unmute and give Elmian a really big round of applause. Beautiful. I don't normally finish with a poem, but this is particularly for Tish.
I'm going to ask, is Catrice and Marjorie going to read? I was just wondering if they, are you guys, did you I'd love to see if they could read.
I don't know. Well, she didn't ask to. Sorry, Tish.
Oh.
Did you want to, Catrice?
I can certainly look for something to read real quick for Tish if Tish wants it. Tish, you have anything in mind?
Well, if I mean we're way over time now, but
I'm sorry.
If it's whether you've got anything ready. Have you got anything?
I don't have anything pulled up. I wasn't expecting to read. I'd have to go pull it up.
I'm sorry.
Right, okay. Well, Tish, you'll have to come to Crafty Crows next time and hear Catrice read it. Okay, that would be brilliant.
I know, Marjorie. Did you mention in the chat that you wanted to? But
again, this is
It's
really
getting
difficult.
late, and I'm just loving hearing everybody. So, yeah.
Sorry. I just
Sorry,
love these. I love these women poets.
I didn't see that in the chat. Sorry, Marjorie. But we're already 9:10, and I did want to read a poem for Tish, if that's all right, because I didn't read one earlier. So I'd like to read one now, if that's.
Catrice will be headlining in October. No, yes.
Who?
Catrice will be headlining in the beginning of October.
Oh yes, yeah. She's going to headline in October. So, yeah, and Prativa. So that's going to be beautiful too. Okay. So I'm going to be greedy, and I'm going to read this because I haven't read this since we did the Raised Voices for Women before COVID. Do you remember, Tish? Years
yes,
ago.
I do.
The crypt. And so I thought, because everything's been really good, and I've never read this poem since, but there's something about it that I like, and I think it goes with all of the stuff that everybody's done. It's called Voices of Long Dead Poets. The voices of long dead poets resound in my ears. Their words swirl through my mind, moving me to tears. Many of these poets led sad lives, and pain oozes between the lines. Lives were lived in futility and the inevitability of death. Their words were the only immortality they could be sure of. So, poets, open your mouths, draw breath, speak your lines of verse. Don't stay silent, for there's nothing worse than swallowing your words. They will eventually choke you, give you indigestion, provoke you into anger and frustration till smoke comes pouring from your ears, or they will drag you down and devastate you, disrupt your dreams, dissolve them into tears. And that salt water will saturate you, bloat and suppurate, till your flesh falls from your bones. Staying silent brings death. So if you have words, I urge you, draw breath and speak them. Give them their freedom. See them enter other people's minds. Watch them fly on wings of fire. See them inspire imagination. Take the light of their flight and shine it out until people are blinded by the sight and sound of your words. These are the sacred symbols of each poet's soul. Revere them, praise them, raise them to the rafters. Create a cathedral of words. Never chain them to convention or put them in detention. Don't allow them to be sold, bought or bartered for gold. Never, never stop the verses of long dead poets. Never burn a book or destroy a verse. Let their words swirl through your senses. Let their pain ooze between the lines. From their experience, draw the essence. Resurrect their presence, constantly remembering that our lives are lived in futility and the inevitability of death. And soon we will be the long dead poets, and our words will be the only immortality we can be sure of. Thank you.
Oh my God, that's fantastic. You are on fire, lady.
So it's been a long while, that one, sitting in the dust.
That's fantastic.
Oh, thank you, everybody.
Radical sister, look at you.
Really, so fabulous, Dane. Thank you for your fabulous poem. And Tish, it's such a pleasure to have you back with us. Even though it has to be on Zoom, it's so lovely to have you back. And everybody who's read, and all those who haven't managed to, I do apologise, but come again, there's always more room. And next month in August, we have just open mic special. So you get 5 minutes next month. So come with your poems and let's do a really great open mic special. So thank you all. Stop recording, Peter. That's brilliant.